Tampa, UCF in South Florida.
Thanks, Mitch. Kansas State held on to that one, a real fun one in the Big 12 as we welcome you to Tampa, the war on I-4 between Central Florida and South Florida. Unfortunate news for the Knights just hours before tip-off. Their leading scorer, the iconic 7'6" center, Taco Fall, out for the season with a shoulder injury. It gets worse for Central Florida. They're also without A.J. Davis, a senior who's missing tonight with an ankle injury. So a weakened Central Florida side comes into Tampa trying to get a win. Alongside Mark Wise, I'm Jan Elter. Mark, what's the formula?
Well, it completely changes the formula because this UCF team was built defensively around the 7'6" Taco Fall and the length of A.J. Davis. They have neither here tonight. And as a consequence, Jiggets has got off to a fast start.
You said it, Stephon Jiggets, 2 triples early in this one. South Florida looking for an upset, their first conference win of the season. Right now 0-6 in the American. Sometimes it takes a little rivalry at home for everything to align and come out of here with their first victory in conference play. Georgie movement, can't get the answer, bounces right back to him, so a fresh 30 for Central Florida. Mark talking to both coaches today, they said slow tempo will be the name of the game. Central Florida, one of the best teams in the country defensively, but they've lacked that offense in recent games.
Well, I think UCF, again, if they'll stop turning the ball over, they want to play a little faster without those bigs.
Off the back of Collins, Jiggets able to save it. Stephon Jiggets, the point guard for South Florida, has 6 out of the 8 for the Bulls so far tonight. Eight to shoot for South Florida. Underneath, Jiggets, kick out, Samuel a 3. That's no good. Central Florida still trying to find their rhythm without Taco Fall and A.J. Davis in the lineup.
To have P.J. Taylor back on the court.
Taylor played the first game of the season, then missed 16 straight games with an injured foot, returned this week against Cincinnati. As you can expect, a little rusty, 21 minutes, only 6 points. He averaged 17 last season for the Knights. Jiggets, he's off to a hot start, but misses that triple. He's got 2 threes tonight. That'll be a great matchup to watch, Jiggets against Taylor. Taylor, preseason first-teamer in the American. Unfortunately, that injury definitely derailed that first-teamer campaign.
Small lineup for UCF, 4 guards.
Well, without Taco Fall the rest of the season, Central Florida probably going to get small, has to get smaller. When you miss one of the largest humans on the entire planet at 7'6", one of 40 of the tallest people on Earth.
A shot blocker, but more importantly, a shot changer.
Well, he was the American Defensive Player of the Year last year. What's impressed a lot of people this year is he led the Central Florida team in scoring with more than 11 points per game. Here's Isaiah Manderson trying to take advantage of Taco not in the post. 2 offensive rebounds, and it finally goes down for Malik Martin.
Well, this is the danger of playing small ball. Can you get on the glass? Great start for the Bulls.
A 7-point lead here at home for South Florida. Trying to counter in the post and able to. Rokas Ulvydas, the Lithuanian native, Texas Tech transfer. What's funny right now in the post, Manderson and Ulvydas, both transfers from the Red Raiders.
Ulvydas doesn't even average 2 points a game, so that's almost bonus points for the Knights.
Hard take, and the freshman fouled.
There's another good look at Taco Fall, who is out for the season, released earlier this afternoon by UCF, expected to undergo shoulder surgery in a week. Double figures scored 10 times this year, 3 double-doubles, 31 blocks.
And what's getting overshadowed as well is UCF without A.J. Davis tonight. He's been playing the last 3 games on a not 100% ankle, and today Johnny Dawkins deciding to rest the senior. Davis, the son of Antonio Davis, an NBA All-Star with the Raptors in his 14-year professional career.
And there's a look at not only Davis, but Chance McSpadden, the third Knight, who will not play here tonight. It is a mash unit for the guys from Orlando.
Trying to find a spark. Down by 7 here on the road. They turn to Taylor. In traffic and fouled on the dribble.
He is so strong with his ability to create contact and draw fouls, get himself to the free throw line. No shots this time before the attempt. But again, UCF, I think, almost has to go back to the drawing board without these 3 players in terms of where are the shots going to come from, how are you going to play offensively, and probably more importantly, how are you going to defend? Because everything UCF has done to this point in the season has been to funnel things to Taco. That won't be the case the rest of the year.
Taylor, with the shot clock winding down, leaves it short. South Florida basketball. Johnny Dawkins in year number 2 with the Knights. Last year took him to the NIT Final Four. After 3 straight losing seasons, Dawkins has really turned this program around in a hurry.
And when we talked to him today and I asked him, have you ever had a year like this? His response, never. Not with the multitude of injuries.
Peyton Banks, pull-up jumper, can't stick it.
I like that shot, though. Early offense.
Dump inside. Chad Brown can't get on the other end of it. Brian Gregory in year number 1. It's a rebuild for South Florida. He's got plenty of experience doing it, though, both at Dayton and Georgia Tech. 0-6 in conference play right now, but boy, a win tonight at home against your rival. That would really get the train back on the tracks for this South Florida team.
Almost would count as 2 wins, wouldn't it?
I think so.
There's the beauty again of B.J. Taylor. I talk about he makes everybody around him better. He understands spacing, passing angles. Little pick and roll action that time with Chad Brown. You know, this changes things not only for this UCF team, but for Chad Brown as well, with Taco Fall being out. It's almost like he changes his spot on the menu because he's gone from a side dish to a main entree now.
How do you get your steak done typically? You strike me as a medium rare man.
Absolutely, man. Come on. Don't overcook anything.
Well, the entree, Chad Brown to the line. Missed the first. And he missed the second as well. He's only a 60% foul shooter. Got his own rebound, though.
Great tip out by Griffin.
And Griffin takes it to the hole and lays it off the window for 2. Central Florida trying to get this offense going. Best offense is defense, except stepping on the line, Miles Douglas, the freshman.
Sometimes it's the little thing. Watch the missed free throw. Tin Black tips that ball out, keeps the possession alive. Why not reward him on the other end? The good ball fake and the easy deuce at the rim. Dayon Griffin.
You know, these are the role players that have to step up now for Central Florida the rest of the way, with Taco Fall out, a Miles Douglas, Dayon Griffin, Chad Brown. Their minutes all go up. It'll be by committee. G gets left it short on that triple.
UCF basketball.
You know, USF is second in the American Conference in three-point shooting. For all their struggles in league play, they are second best. But they don't shoot a lot of threes. Only 16 a game.
Why do you think that is?
Again, trying to understand where shots should come from. Guys not playing with each other. A lot of newness on the team.
Well, Chad Brown growing into that entree role. Another bucket for the junior. Central Florida's cut it to 3. Looking for more here in transition. B.J. Taylor splitting the defenders. He can't finish at the rim.
I think that's a play B.J. Taylor makes a week from now.
Lays it off, blocked from behind. Get that out of here.
Another 3 points up for grabs.
South Florida won a year ago. UCF leading right now. Big reason why that thrilling football game back and forth between these two teams. That finished 49-42. And Mark, I hope we get more points in this basketball game than they saw on the gridiron earlier this fall.
UCF had gone to the zone on the out under and denied out of it. Bulls got away with one there because Johnny Dawkins, again, trying to help his offense a little bit by creating more pressure defensively. 2-3 zone.
Samuel attacking the zone, leaves it short on the rim. Another offensive rebound for South Florida. Boy, are they cashing in with Taco Fall out of the lineup tonight. Stekic tries another baseline jumper. Can't hit it. And a foul called. That's going to go against Malik Martin. Too much contact on the rebound.
As we mentioned earlier, not only no Taco Fall, but no A.J. Davis. Why is that important for Johnny Dawkins? Because Davis is actually the team's leading rebounder. Davis on your right, Taco Fall on your left, and then to the right, as we're looking at it, Chance McSpadden, the sophomore, redshirt sophomore, averaging almost 6 points out of the game this year. So when you're talking about that kind of production, you're almost talking about 28 points a game not available for Johnny Dawkins.
A frustrating start for the second-year head coach.
There's all three. From left to right, Taco Fall, A.J. Davis, Chance McSpadden.
And UCF missing all three. Those would be three starters if healthy. Also, Aubrey Dawkins is out for the season, but that was before the season, the injury, a shoulder injury as well. So 4 potential starters out of the lineup. 2 of them done for the year. Another giveaway. So it goes right back to Central Florida. And there it is, the missing Knights. You get B.J. Taylor back, but you're still missing a lot of what people thought would be the core of this team.
They hope to get Chance McSpadden back next week. A.J. Davis, day-to-day.
B.J. Taylor, who missed 16 games, finally back in this UCF lineup. We're tied at 12. A 3 falls for the freshman Miles Douglas.
Again, the artistry of B.J. Taylor, his ability to find teammates.
South Florida is gone 3 minutes and 30 seconds without a point. And another turnover as the offense continues to sputter.
Great point guards get their feet in the paint, attract defenders. The kick out, there's 3 defenders around Taylor. Ball fake, the pass is on point, and Douglas cashes in.
Now, there's a reason he was second team in the American Conference a year ago, preseason first team coming into this season.
Jay, don't you feel like if you've got no Taco Fall, no A.J. Davis, that there's a certain amount of uncertainty? There's a shock factor, if you will. So maybe UCF needed to kind of play into the game.
Well, they've certainly done that on a 7-0 run up until that layup. Malik Martin gives South Florida back the lead. Taylor, oh, it just rimmed out, looking for the answer. Offensive rebound, it stays with the Knights. Right back to Taylor. He is fearless of traffic and again draws the foul. So after this one is over, you got to flip on to Saturday prime time presented by AT&T. Florida taking on 18th Kentucky. Wildcats have won 6 out of the last 7 against the Gators.
Well, again, the length of Kentucky against the shooting prowess from beyond the arc of Florida should be an interesting matchup. I know this. Kentucky, everybody wants to know what's wrong with Kentucky. Nothing. They played 4 out of their last 5 on the road. They're so youthful. We have seen in these games their talent, their length, and yes, their youth.
Already 7 fouls against South Florida, so UCF in the bonus.
Good to see Taylor knock down his first because he's just 4 for 9 on the year in the 2 games that he's played. That should improve as the year goes on.
You have to give him a pass for shooting it poorly against Cincinnati after a 16-game layoff, though. Tied at 14, 9 minutes left in this first half. In-state rivalry here in the American tonight. South Florida looking for that first conference win of the season. Here's the freshman David Collins splitting the defenders, left it short. Now Central Florida can run in transition. Miles Douglas, another freshman on the court tonight. He can't finish. Jiggets off and running. It's turned into a track meet. And Jiggets draws the foul and heads to the line.
I got to tell you, Miles Douglas's hesitation dribble and explosion was big time. He just happened to miss it. Take a look at this. Hesitation coming right at you. Split defenders. That's one you've got to finish in traffic. And on the other end, Jiggets with the step through Euro style to get to the free throw line.
Transfer from Fairleigh Dickinson, and man, has he made the adjustment from the Northeast Conference to the American Conference real well.
Yeah, his three-point percentage, 38% on the year, is the best of his career for Brian Gregory.
And Brian Gregory, we should mention, it's impressive that he was even able to put a roster on the floor when he got here. Had to bring in 10 fresh faces. Only 2 of those freshmen used the grad transfer market like Jiggets just to assemble a roster in his first season here in Tampa. B.J. Taylor to the bench. First time he's left the court since subbing on. Go to Chad Brown. He sticks a 6-footer.
Little mid-range jumper by Chad Brown. Did not know he had that in his game.
Well, that, if you're going to look at the positive side of things, UCF will get to know Chad Brown, Miles Douglas a whole lot better with Taco Fall and A.J. Davis out tonight against South Florida.
Wonderful opportunity.
Malik Martin, he lost the handle. 2-on-2. Cesar DeJesus straight to the rim. How about the freshman Cesar DeJesus giving UCF the lead?
Yeah, defensively, you've got to sprint to get ahead of the ball. That never happened. DeJesus takes advantage. 2-3 zone giving the Bulls some fits.
Out of
his teammates went 14 for 43. So Trae Young, as great as he has been, he needs his supporting cast to step up and help.
Now, speaking of supporting cast, Central Florida looking for theirs to do the same. Top 2 leading scorers out tonight, A.J. Davis and Taco Fall. The 7'6" Fall, he's out for the season. Knights soldiering on in this war on I-4 against South Florida. It'll stay Knights basketball.
I always think that the air ball is the toughest for a defender to gather. I didn't think B.J. Taylor would be on the bench very long. No limits with his minutes tonight.
Point guard's back after missing 16 straight games. A little rusty in the midweek against Cincinnati. Bearcats, one of the best defensive teams in the country, though. 5 to shoot. DeJesus pulls the trigger. In and out. And a foul called on the rebound. It goes against the freshman Miles Douglas. Johnny Dawkins told us no excuses. This is a no-excuse team, no-excuse program. Yes, we've had injuries. It's been the strangest year I've ever had, but we've got enough to go out and compete and win this basketball game.
Yeah, you can only play the guys that are in uniform. But he has changed up a little bit. They've gone down the floor a little bit. They've zoned a little bit. I think they want to play at a quicker pace.
They're back to a man-to-man. A lot of different looks for USF to handle. 10 to shoot. Isaiah Manderson, the senior, he hits. That's a little outside of Manderson's range, but it doesn't matter there. This game's back tied at 18.
I'd like to see him get more touches. Sometimes he can get lost in the offense. This is going way too fast. Douglas with the travel.
Yeah, another turnover. He's a true freshman, though, Douglas. Really excited about his athleticism. But this is going to be more minutes than he's used to playing. Comes in only averaging 9. He'll get a lot more tonight without Taco Fall and A.J. Davis.
The Knights actually played Taylor as part of the back end of this matchup zone.
10 to shoot. They go to Jiggets this time. It's good from three. Stephon Jiggets. That's his third three of the night.
It's amazing what good things ball reversal will get you.
UCF's turn to respond. They go inside to Chad Brown, lost the handle, got it back. That's a tough finish underneath the rim.
Those are hard hat points. Chad Brown finishing inside, 6'9", 240. Not much body fat on that young man.
And USF slowing it down like Brian Gregory said they would. A grinded out in-state rivalry game. Getting a three from your freshman, Justin Brown. Back-to-back triples for the Bulls.
Sometimes your best offense is simple offense. Little flare screen to free up the freshman Brown.
BJ Taylor looking for an answer. Kick out Douglas. Can't connect. Battle for that rebound. And they say Isaiah Manderson stepped out. It'll stay with Central Florida. Saturday primetime game tonight presented by AT&T. SEC matchup, Florida taking on Kentucky. That'll be a good one. 8:15 on ESPN, also streaming on the ESPN app.
I think this ball went out on Manderson in the corner, so UCF gets a fresh 30.
They go to BJ Taylor. He's 0 for 3 from the field, 2 assists. Looking for that first make. That's the toughest one to get. And he's still searching.
But Johnny Dawkins is going to live with that shot. Why? Because they had dribble penetration, kick out, extra pass, all the things that you want in an offensive possession.
Well, and when you miss 16 games with a foot injury, you are going to come back a little rusty, understandably. Brown, there was contact on that three. Nothing called. It's a fresh 30, though, after Isaiah Manderson grabbed the board. Jiggets leading all scorers with 11. Dumped into the post. Here's Isaiah Manderson. Open three, David Collins, yes!
And lobbed away Manderson face to go along with it. But when Jiggets can make shots, it just makes life easier for this Bull team and Brian Gregory.
Bulls can take any help they can get right now. 0-6 in the American. But right now, leading by 7, trying to cut into the lead. BJ Taylor right on cue. His first made basket on the night comes out of the timeout, and if they can get Taylor heated up, that's a big plus for UCF.
Yeah, a simple skip pass, breakdown defensively for the Bulls.
Manderson looking to counter. He can't.
Love the effort by Brown. Be the first to the deck, be rewarded.
Cesar DeJesus, that's a tough take. Taylor, great job stealing that away. Gets it back to DeJesus for the finish.
I said earlier, BJ Taylor makes everybody around him better.
Well, in just 30 seconds, he knocks down the three, gets the steal and the assist. Right on cue mark. And just like that, UCF back within a basket. Manderson in traffic, but finishes.
Good things happen for the Bulls when Manderson gets touches. He can be a scorer, he can be a face-up shooter, also can find a three-point shooter.
Foul on the drive. That's another thing BJ Taylor's been really good at, drawing the foul on the dribble.
Has such great upper body strength, and yet his center of gravity with the dribble is so low. That's a unique skill for a point guard. The local guy from Orlando.
Yeah, it went to Boone High School, just 15 miles away from the UCF campus. That swirls in for Taylor. All right, we've got a must-see Big 12 matchup, Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile, all part of Sonic Blockbuster. And you know Trae Young, Oklahoma, looking to rebound. It'll be tough to do it against number 10 Kansas and Devontae Graham.
One of the guys that I think not enough people are talking about for Player of the Year, Devontae Graham. How good has he been for Bill Self?
In Morgantown last week, he willed that Jayhawk team back. We've got 2:30 to play in the first half between UCF and USF. In-state rivalry here in the American. Jiggets has been feeling it. Pump fake. Drives it in. No good. Justin Brown, second effort. That's goaltending. Count the basket.
Yeah, and this is goaltending, Jay, because somebody grabbed the net.
That's
and
a
made
no-no.
the rim vibrate. Take another look on the attempt by Brown, who got away with the travel. Now there's Brown, who got net, rim, made that rim vibrate while the ball was on top of it. And that's a goaltending call.
Under 2 minutes to play. B.J. Taylor and UCF trailing by 4. Trying to make it 1 on that 3. It doesn't fall for Taylor. Taylor now 1 for 6 from the field for the Knights. Still shaking off that rust after 16 games injured. Air ball from Manderson.
No reason to fade away there.
To Jesus, strong take, uses the window, but can't get it to go. Timeout taken by Brian Gregg.
But fade away, one-handed leaner, if you will, in the wrong direction when there's no rim protector, block the block for the Knights. So doesn't want bad habits to form early in this game.
Open 3 for Brown. That rim's out. Oh, hung on the rim for 2 seconds there, but did not fall for the freshman.
And because UCF has gone from one of the tallest teams in the country to a relatively small ball lineup,
right,
rebounding is going to be an issue all night long.
Well, they're missing 15 rebounds per game without Fall and Davis. That's what those two guys make up. A fresh 30 for South Florida.
It's almost like Johnny Dawkins wants to change the geography of the game. With Fall and Davis, you want the game won in the paint. With his current makeup, I think he wants the game won outside the paint.
Back to Brown, shot clock winding down, and the freshman hits it.
It's the same concept. A little patience, ball reversal, feet in the paint, find a teammate.
Underneath, Taylor fouled hard from behind. 21.1 seconds left as B.J. Taylor heads to the line for 2.
Seems like every time Taylor penetrates and looks for the kick out, it's always Douglas who's on the receiving end, and Miles Douglas just 4 for 17 from beyond the arc entering the game tonight. They need to make an adjustment at halftime where Taylor can find DeJesus and Griffin and Allen from beyond the arc.
What has impressed you most about the way USF has come out and competed against UCF tonight?
The bounce back. The bounce back from an energy standpoint, from an engagement standpoint after the debacle Wednesday night in Greenville.
That was a 90-52 loss to an East Carolina team that came here to Tampa and only won by 2 points. 8 seconds left in the half. Bulls trying to end on a strong note. Jiggets does just that. 3, good if it goes. It does not for DeJesus in South Florida.
You know, it's not just a matter of Fall and Davis being out. It changes the team's dynamics. It changes their chemistry. And I'm not talking about their chemistry off the court. I'm talking about their chemistry on the court. UCF opts to start the second half in the 2-3 zone.
South Florida starts with the basketball, a 7-point lead. That's the largest lead of the game for either team. Jiggett's the leading scorer with 13. 5 on the timer. He's got to hurry. Pulls the trigger. No good.
Never want the shot clock to dictate your quality of shot.
UCF looking for a punch early in this war on I-4. They get it through Chad Brown, the junior.
Played much more under control that possession. Played off 2 feet.
So you say UCF looked a little disjointed in that first half. Banks fouled on a 3. He'll head to the line for 3 free throws now. What was it about being disjointed, and what can you fix at halftime? Only 15 minutes to get back on track.
Well, I think you've got to tell guys to look to drift in different spots when Taylor penetrates. I think people got used to standing because that's what they do when the ball goes inside the taco. That's what they do when A.J. Davis drives in. Well, Johnny Dawkins doesn't have either of those features tonight. So it's almost like an adjustment on the fly, if you will, for UCF. Meanwhile, Banks got and there's a look at the 3 that we were talking about. No Fall, no Davis, no McSpadden.
And that means no lead for UCF. Trailing by 8 now with the basketball after Peyton Banks knocked down all 3 free throws. 2 freshmen on the court for Johnny Dawkins. One of them here, Miles Douglas. B.J. Taylor, step back, deep 2, leaves it short. Great hustle, Chad Brown, to give UCF another possession. Terrell Allen, he was quiet in the first half. An explosive move there for 2.
I think Allen and Griffin have to get more active in the second half. Again, here's this full court pressure.
David Collins tees up Terrence Samuel. Great passing by South Florida. Peyton Banks, scoop to the hoop, no good. In transition, stolen away, Terrence Samuel. Pick the pocket of Miles Douglas, leaves it for Jiggets, and the finish.
Freshman mistake, just going too fast. That's a turnover to a touchdown.
Now this is a Knights team that plays slow tempo anyway. That's the strength of this team. Trying to run there, just too fast, and it led to 2 points. De Jesus, that's a beautiful move. Doesn't fall, foul called.
I like the unselfish play by Douglas trying to find his teammate, but it was 1 dribble too many. Watch this simple pass on the other end by Samuel. Allows Jiggets to catch and gather and finish under control.
They said the foul was on the floor. So UCF has it trailing by 8. Fresh shot clock for the Knights. Trying to find an answer. B.J. Taylor still getting his foot back quite literally. Missed 16 games with a broken foot. Preseason first teamer in the American Conference. 1 for 7 shooting so far for the Knights. They need him to heat up. That's going the other way. Stephon Jiggets taking the charge. Dayon Griffin ran right into him.
How come so many times your best player, your leading offensive scorer, is willing to sacrifice his body? Jiggets gets out of the arc, a legal defender, and absorbs the charge.
He is leading the charge in this in-state rivalry. 15 points. He's also got 3 assists. South Florida leading by 8, looking for their first conference win of the season. Saved by Samuel, right to the freshman Collins, and a foul called, poked from behind.
I thought Shachekich got fouled on his attempt. One of the reasons why the ball caromed off the rim so wildly. So here's another part of the equation. With Taylor back and those other 3 guys out, it changes everything that you have done in your first 18 games in terms of rotations, big to small, small to big. So in a lot of ways, for the rest of the season, as long as Davis and McSpadden continue to be out, this is kind of a new day for UCF.
And there really doesn't seem to be a quick fix for Johnny Dawkins. It'll just take time and chemistry on the court. In the post with Isaiah Manderson, backing down Chad Brown. Left it short. Great defense by the junior Brown. In transition quickly, Terrell Allen. No look, and it rolls in. Showing off Terrell Allen.
But again, early offense. Push the tempo. Love it.
UCF has cut it to a 2-possession game. Just a 6-point deficit now for the Knights. No surprise, the Bulls go to Jiggets. 7 to shoot. Oh my, splitting defenders, and he didn't get the finish. Everything but the basket for Stephon Jiggets on that move.
My old coach used to say $1 million move and a nickel shot. Watch Jiggets explode to the rim, reject the screen, split defenders, point blank. Just misses that. One he would like to have back.
Some would say the story of this South Florida season. On a 6-game losing streak right now, 4-point lead after B.J. Taylor got a nice floater to fall.
The difference in Taylor and other UCF players, he understands not going too far.
Collins, that's a tough take. He's fouled, and the freshman had win of the season.
We talked about B.J. Taylor trying to make everybody better around him. You're getting a look at one of the better freshmen in this conference, David Collins. I think he has a chance to make players around him better. 5 assists, 1 turnover so far tonight.
And Collins also perfect from the foul line, 4 for 4 in South Florida, now 9 for 9. If you're going to pull an upset, free throw's a big part of it. B.J. Taylor started the heat up, but misses that there. Now 2 for 9. 11 points, though. He's done a nice job getting himself to the foul line. Six-point lead for South Florida. And Mark, if they're going to hold out the rest of the way, what is the recipe? Helps when you get a bounce like that for Terrence Samuel to go up 8. But what is the recipe to close this thing out for South Florida?
Eliminate the offensive droughts. Don't go in a 3 or 4 minute stretch where you play poorly offensively. This is way too late of a screen. Gilvidas on that one just got there way too late.
6'11" redshirt sophomore from Lithuania. He's trying to help fill that void that Taco Fall has left. That's the 3rd foul on Gilvidas, and he takes a seat next to Johnny Dawkins. You can't replace Taco Fall with one player. And yes, the announcement just happened a few hours before tip-off. And he's a big man to replace, no pun intended. But how do you go about it down the stretch in this game?
I think right now they're searching.
Right. That's going the other way. Charge taken by Terrell Allen. Toughness plays like that will go a long way in turning the ship.
Well, when your offense is struggling, pick up your defense. And that time, Allen steps over, sacrifices his body. Let your defense become part of your offense.
And UCF defensively, one of the best in the nation when it comes to opponent average scoring under 60 at 58.5. That's number 3 in the country.
But you can throw those numbers out.
Because of Taco?
No Taco and no A.J. Davis. Maybe the 2 best defenders in the league.
Georgie Moomin, big-time 3 to cut this deficit to 5. His first made basket today, and it comes at a great time to try and get this Knights offense rolling.
Moomin doing what he does best, catch and shoot.
South Florida slowing down this game once again, playing through Jiggets, their leading scorer. Manderson pull-up jumper doesn't fall.
Not a bad look. Late in the clock. Had a clean vision to the rim.
UCF continuing to battle back in this game.
Small ball again. 4 guards and Chad Brown.
Brown at 6'9", playing the 5, gets the offensive rebound there and draws the foul. I'll tell you, Chad Brown laying the body on the line.
B.J. Taylor with another fearless drive, does not get the call, and there's a look at the wounded Knights. Taco Fall out for the rest of the season. A.J. Davis in the middle. He's on my all under the radar team in the American Conference. And then Chance McSpadden, the redshirt sophomore, averaging almost 6 points a game.
Productive night for number 21 in black. 8.7 rebounds for Chad Brown.
Well, this is what we learned earlier this afternoon.
Taco Fall lost for the season, not just today. They are shutting him down. They told us he had been really playing through that pain for the most of the season, and it got just too much for him. So no Taco for the rest of this American Conference slate.
That's the second time in this game that Chad Brown has missed 2 at the free throw line. And, Jay, when you miss 2 at the line, that's no different than a turnover.
Jiggets uses the pump fake, steps into it, and connects.
Feeling it, playing in rhythm, under control.
Stephon Jiggets up to 17 points to lead all scorers tonight. Back to a 7-point lead for South Florida. What does UCF have as a counter punch? How about Dayon Griffin into the lane, gets the floater to fall.
Remember a couple of minutes ago, Griffin went too far off the bounce. That time he pulled up. Jay, don't you get the feeling that USF has really dominated most of the play, and yet here they are up 5?
Only up 5. That's the same feeling you saw last week against Cincinnati. You played a great half against the number 14 team in the country, and you were losing by 2 at halftime. Still a lot of time left in this one. 12:30 to play in this in-state rivalry. Last conference win nearly a year ago, 11 months. That came against East Carolina, a team that this Bulls team lost to by nearly 40 in the midweek. A carry that turns the ball over right back to South Florida. Johnny Dawkins not happy.
Careless turnover by Griffin. And you can
rarely see that
Johnny
call.
Dawkins look down the bench. You know he wants to put some guys in. How about that win today for Houston at home over Wichita State? Rob Gray goes for 24. Corey Davis Jr. 17 and 8.
This is a game UCF needs to win, can't afford to lose. Right now trailing though. Big defensive rebound grabbed by Dayon Griffin. Can't let any more second chance points in this game.
But I'm not sure UCF can get good looks grinding out possessions.
Terrell Allen, another scoop to the hoop.
Again, a little quicker to the ball screen, a little quicker in terms of deciding when to attack.
DeMatha Catholic product, played with Markel Fultz. Started his college career at Drexel and now providing big-time minutes and points like that for this UCF team. Peyton Banks looking for an answer, can't find it. Selection committee considering new metrics about how they're going to select teams into the tournament field.
Well, it's going to be a different kind of resume sheet, and you're going to need to get comfortable with the term quadrants, because the NCAA selection committee is going to evaluate teams and their resumes based on their play in quadrants, and we're going to define for you what quadrant 1 is all about. A home victory, it represents teams RPI 1 through 30, the neutral site 1 through 50, and the road victories RPI 1 through 75. Jay, what does that mean? It means that a road win against number 75 now equates to a home team, or a home win against team number 30. I like this a lot. It puts more definition in terms of what is a quality win.
Another offensive rebound as Professor Wise finishes his NCAA selection committee lecture. We've got a great game on our hands, Mark. And really, Johnny Dawkins said it. And he's only in year 2 of this rivalry, but he says South Florida, they didn't have a great record last year either, and they still gave us a really tough game a year ago, and he expected a tough game against Brian Gregory today.
And one of the reasons I want to discuss the quadrant system, Jay, is that I think the American Conference, as we see Peyton Banks with the strong finish inside, I think the American Conference is going to have 2 or 3 teams in and around that bubble all season long. Great break off the ball on the out under, miscommunication defensively. Peyton Banks, you just have to wonder, would he get that kind of hoop if Taco Fall were playing?
Simple answer would be no. 7'6", standing in the paint. Instead, it's 6'9", Chad Brown. He's no Taco.
Gulvidas has just had a tough night tonight, finding more fouls than minutes.
Yeah, 4th foul called against the Lithuanian native. This is only a 4-point game. UCF battling on despite injuries and shots not falling early in this game. Dump down low. Kick back out to Moomin. 7 to shoot. Moomin's got to hurry. Chucks it up. And an air ball, shot clock violation.
Nice job defensively by the Bulls. Did not panic. I talked about teams in the American and the quadrant talk. Temple is going to continue to be involved in the discussion. Why? 4 quality 1 wins. SMU with that win at Wichita State to combine with the win against Arizona. Houston with another quadrant 1 win today over Wichita State. So I think these teams, you're going to find them week to week in and out on Lenardi's bracket. But I would be shocked if this conference doesn't get 3 or 4 teams in the dance.
They couldn't have picked a better name than quadrant. But quite literally, it is a quadrant when you take that top 75 on the road.
And there are 4 quadrants. So we're redefining what's a quality win. We're redefining what's a bad loss. I'm sorry, Jay. First half, the fouls were reversed. UCF got in the bonus quickly, and now the Bulls are there.
That's already foul number 8, and the second called against Chad Brown. You were saying, what's a bad loss? All the quadrants. For those Knights fans watching, this would be considered a bad loss.
Yes, it would. Even with the damaged goods that UCF is playing with tonight.
And they don't take into account in-state rivalry, all that.
Oh, gosh, no.
It just shows up on paper as you lost to a 7-12 team, and there's plenty of time to reverse that, but as it stands, this would be a crippling loss to the UCF resume.
News right there. Jiggets missed a free throw. He's 91% on the free ones.
Joe Lenardi's American bracketology, I think that's going to change after the Houston win against Wichita State today.
I think the addition of Wichita State gives teams more opportunities. Like an SMU
Absolutely.
who went there and won.
Well,
like
SMU and Houston.
Yes.
Both benefiting from Wichita State joining the American this season.
Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bearcats still undefeated.
Now the longest active winning streak at home at 35 in the entire country. 8 to shoot. Justin Brown rolls it off. And sticking it is the Serbian Nikola Stekic.
I love him as a step-out guy. He can make that shot.
7'2", would have been a good battle with him in the 7'6" Taco Fall. How about the throwdown? Chad Brown rocks the rim. UCF back within 4. And that's exactly the kind of play that gets this Knights team energized down the stretch.
Great read by B.J. Taylor, the veteran.
Brown steps into a jumper and connects.
I just like, again, ball reversal and attack.
Back and forth we go in the war on I-4. How about another? This time Brown
Figures with 10 points, creating his own space, operating down in that high-rent district. And Jay, if he keeps playing like this, he's going to be the chef special.
At 6'9", he actually gives this UCF offense a little more versatility than they do with Taco Fall and A.J. Davis out there. Open three, Moomin cashes in. Georgie Moomin cuts the lead in half.
Good execution out of the timeout. That's a play called by the bench. Screen the screener to free up Moomin, who is UCF's best three-point threat.
The senior in a big spot, and he hits it. How does South Florida now respond? Looking for that first win in conference play. They've got a three-point lead at home, but plenty of time in this game. UCF willing back in the battle. David Collins, there's a response from the freshman. Got himself into the paint and knocked it down.
But he played off 2 feet on that shot. So he was under control. I'm talking about Collins.
B.J. Taylor comes right back.
Okay, you've got the war on I-4. You've got 2 teams that don't like each other, 2 student bodies that don't like each other. It kind of seems like we're getting to the middle of the ring now. And both teams are starting to land punches.
Ten to shoot. Here's the freshman Collins. Hands off to the leading scorer, Jiggett. 17 points on the night. Right back to Collins. Tough take. Doesn't fall. Battle for the board. UCF's got it. Taylor. It's good. B.J. Taylor ties it at 56.
Little drag screen in transition. Collins goes underneath. Taylor makes him pay. Brian Gregory needs a timeout. Conference last year. He is a big-time money player.
He's only 4 of 12. But throw that out, because in the last 5 minutes and 30 seconds, there's nobody on the court with more late-game experience than number 1 in black. Out of the timeout. Let's see what Brian Gregory drew up for South Florida. 10 to shoot. They go to Jiggett. He's got 17 tonight. A lot of contact, nothing called. Steps into it. Doesn't make it.
You got to blow the whistle there one way or the other. Way too much contact.
Central Florida looking for their last lead since 7:52 in the first half. They go to Taylor. No surprise. It just rims out. And now a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with the Knights.
Even a player as seasoned as Taylor, he's got to be careful that he doesn't try to do too much.
Well, where else are they going to go with A.J. Davis and Taco Fall out tonight? They're 2 leading scorers. The Knights have done a tremendous job overcoming those injuries. 2 leading rebounders, 2 leading scorers, and yet on the road in a rivalry game, tied at 56. 15 to shoot for Terrell Allen. Seemingly every possession, it ends up in the hands of B.J. Taylor. Allen fighting for the offensive rebound. Stolen away by Jiggett.
I thought Jiggett's got away with a double dribble on the rebound after Allen was by himself and just fumbled the opportunity.
UCF back in that 2-3 zone for crunch time. Down the stretch, these 2 teams come, tied at 56.
Now you can't blow the whistle there on that. Oh my goodness.
And that's a big foul because it sends Jiggett to the line. Now let's take a look at tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch, Mark. What a battle that is. Graham against Young. 48 points.
Jay.
And that came at a loss.
Devontae Graham has simply been fantastic for Kansas.
And those 2 squaring off on Super Tuesday. powered by Boost Mobile. That'll be a great battle between two talented programs and players. Stephon Jiggets trying to end a scoring drought that's lasted 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 1-1. That's a big free throw because it gets you another one.
This is the guy you do not want at the line if you're UCF. Jiggets 91%, even though he missed his previous free throw.
So ends that scoring drought and gives the Bulls back the lead. This is the second, though. And again, up over 90% from the line. Very rare from Jiggets.
But there's two kind of free throw stats. Your overall shooting and what you shoot in the last 5 minutes of a game.
Great pump fake all the way to the rim. Dayon Griffin gives the Knights the lead.
And you called it right. It was all about the ball fake.
In-state rivalry coming down to the wire here in Tampa.
When you're a team like USF and you haven't won in the league, does doubt start creeping in?
It's been nearly 11 months that they've gotten their first conference win. Great response there. Malik Martin camping out, right place, right time.
Bulls take advantage as they have all night. No Taco, no A.J. Davis.
Perfect positioning on the offensive rebound. The Bulls back in front. That's a foul called on the freshman David Cup. Both the leading scorers for their respective teams. Jiggets at 18, Taylor at 16. Who will raise that game down the stretch in the final 3 minutes here on the War on I-4. Taylor, contact, and the basket. B.J. Taylor hooping the harm.
Again, this is a call out of the timeout. Taylor was never going to go back to the middle. He was going to reject the screen. The weak side help was late in coming. And look at the way Taylor absorbs the contact, but keeps his eyes focused on the prize.
That completes the three-point play for the redshirt junior B.J. Taylor. Missed 16 straight games after playing the first game of the season. Came back in the midweek against Cincinnati. Looked rusty tonight. He looked like the preseason first-team player he was voted.
Can USF get a quality look against the zone? Can UCF rebound out of the zone?
Bulls have led for much of this game, now trailing by 2. Banks lost his footing, got it to Jiggets. Ball's loose. UCF's got it. Big-time defensive stop for the Knights.
Good hands by Chad Brown, who's got a double-double tonight. No need to get conservative. You have to attack.
Just like he has on the last 10 possessions. B.J. Taylor with the ball in his hand. Shot clock winding down, 5 on the timer.
He's got the switch.
Pull up 3.
Oh,
it's good!
Oh, my goodness.
B.J. Taylor money for UCF.
On cue with a big smile.
Timeout, Brian Gregory.
All about winning. That is B.J. Taylor.
And especially for this program. A local product, Orlando native, just 15 miles away at Boone High School. And he's given UCF a 5-point lead. Under 2 minutes to play. Peyton Banks looking for a response. Foot on the line. Turnover. Knights have the basketball.
Well, this shows the inexperience of the USF players playing with each other. Collins was trying to drive and attract defenders, but the spacing was not correct for Brian Gregory's team.
Johnny Dawkins told us we are a no-excuse program, a no-excuse team. Injuries to their leading scorers and rebounders, trailing for much of this game and finding a way down the stretch.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. UCF is going to eat a little clock, but I promise you the ball is going to end up in B.J. Taylor's hands.
Well, it's only happened the last 11 possessions, so Mark the psychic. Yep, right on cue.
Let's see if USF switches again.
And a freshman, David Collins, playing with 4 fouls, guarding Taylor. Double team, pass off, there's your finish. Rocking the rim. Chad Brown. And the foul.
Crunch time? Forget that. Call it B.J. Taylor time with the room service. Take another look. Taylor knows he had attracted defenders. Chad Brown with the catch and the angry Schwackums.
Double-double for Chad Brown and 2 highlight reel plays to boot. Jiggets running out of space. He found Justin Brown. Great bounce pass. And one on the other end. South Florida not dead yet.
I started to say Brown needed to shoot this 3-ball. His bounce pass was kind of funky. But there Collins is able to catch it, gets banged at the same time, and somehow gets the ball to go in.
Freshman to freshman there. Collins heads to the line to complete the 3-point play. That ended a 9-0 run for UCF in the last minute and 45 seconds. You make the free throw here. What's the game plan?
Well, you've got to go down the floor. I'm pressing in backcourt. I'm fouling in front court. Everything Brian Gregory's team does from this point forward is to try and get the game into a 1 possession at the end with his team having the ball.
Collins up to 12 points, 5 for 5 from the line. There's that full court pressure. They get it into B.J. Taylor. Great pass, plenty of space. And now you have to foul, right? Trailing by 5.
You have to foul.
And there comes the foul. A little late, but Jiggets gets Dayon Griffin. Tonight after Tennessee and South Carolina on ESPN 2 on SportsCenter. Postgame for Thunder Cavs, and also what every college basketball fan's been waiting for. Zion Williamson makes his college pick. That's at 8:15, but it starts on 8 o'clock ESPN 2, and a crazy college basketball Saturday will dominate SportsCenter, 8 o'clock on the Deuce.
Now
Missed
you
the front end.
Doesn't have to be a 3 now. Drive the ball to the rim.
45 seconds left for South Florida. David Collins, a freshman, tough take, and he'll get 2 at the line. Foul called on Chad Brown.
Since UCF missed the front end, I don't think USF, even though they wasted some time, driving the ball was the right call. Again, we're in the same situation. I'm making free throws. I'm trapping one time in backcourt, and then you have to think about fouling, and why not foul Griffin, who just missed?
How about the freshman? That he's the guy in a go-to situation. First-year player for Brian Gregory, David Collins, has stepped up when it's mattered most.
Showing the maturity for a freshman.
2 big free throws. That brings it to a 1-possession game. And really, 6-second separation, shot clock, game clock. You do not have to foul here.
Griffin out of the game. Moomin has only been to the free throw line 2 times all year.
Terrell Allen brings it up court, and the foul comes.
Again, I'm okay with this. I think USF needs multiple possessions. They cannot play a clock game. Allen, 70% at the free throw line, but that was team foul number 10. So it'll be of the 2-shot variety. And here's my point, Jay. I think the Bulls' response here is dependent on what Allen does at the line. If he makes 1, it's okay to get 2. Now, if I'm USF, I'm telling the team, drive the ball to the rim, regardless if this is a make or miss.
Biggest foul shot of the game, and it rests on the shoulders of Terrell Allen. It's been a fun one here in Tampa. War on I-4. And he missed it. South Florida with an opportunity to tie this game. 25 seconds left.
Wow, Collins is on the sideline.
And Collins stepped on the base. Wow. The freshman gave it away and now heads to the bench. Exactly what Brian Gregory wanted. The ball. Let's take another look.
Yeah, it's his back foot. I used to coach a guy by the name of Charlie Bradley here who did that about 3 times a game, drove us nuts. That's where I want the ball, B.J. Taylor's hands.
Well, the interesting part about it is, yes, he's been the dynamic player down the stretch, 22 points. Coming into today, 4 of 9 from free throw line, 44%. Today, he's 7 for 7. But 44% coming into the day.
Nothing has changed, I don't think, for USF. If he makes both, not enough time to just trade twos.
Rims out again. UCF has missed their last 3 foul shots.
There is time, I still believe, now that he has missed one, to answer with a 2.
Knights are 9 of 17 from the line. Timeout, Johnny Dawkins.
Are used to this.
South Florida with the basketball, trailing by 4. Into Jiggets, leading scorer with 18 points. Under 20 seconds to play in the war on I-4. Straight to the hoop, acrobatic shot. Jiggets missed it, and a foul comes on B.J. Taylor.
Jiggets avoids the contact. UCF has rim resistance at the end, but watch the way Jiggets sidesteps and then avoids Chad Brown. I'm going into Chad Brown. If he blocks it, he blocks it. But then you have to throw up this wild shot. I think Jiggets knows it.
Checked in for UCF.
South Florida led for much of this game. B.J. Taylor and UCF have battled back. An impressive come-from-behind victory on the road. If it stands, 15 seconds remaining.
Has to be a 3 and timeout.
8 seconds. Brown goes to the hoop. UCF lets him have it. Brian Gregory takes a timeout in rivalry games and in this American Conference. South Florida gave the Knights everything they could handle, but B.J. Taylor did just enough. A lot of contact. They get it into Georgie Moomin, and a foul is called. And Brian Gregory, he wanted a foul underneath on Taylor.
Yeah, he and Banks collided. You know, you could almost say around the country, Jay, that just winning on the road is so difficult. It's one of the reasons why the NCAA changed that quadrant language that we talked about, as you see the collision between Taylor and Banks.
Taylor almost sold it more than Banks did.
Georgie Moomin has only been to the free throw line 2 times this year.
He misses. UCF has not had a good day from the foul line. 12 for 21 for Johnny Dawkins' group.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Dawkins elected to take a timeout after Moomin makes. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Defensively, no fouls. You can chalk this win and come back up to B.J. Taylor.
Jiggets makes the 3. Only 0.2 seconds left, but South Florida does cut it to 2. A great night effort-wise from Jiggets and the Bulls. All they need to do is tap it up. De Jesus does just that.